If you were told that at the beginning of the season that Arsenal and Manchester City are really going to be the two teams competing for the Premier League trophy, you would have said that is a complete lie. Do you know why? It's a unicorn that no one even would give a go or a positive answer that it would happen. I thought that Arsenal would go ahead and really score close to 90 points, but I never thought they would win the trophy. That's it. But we've been shocked by a side known as Arsenal, and they've shown us that they are really into this and they want to win the trophy. And guess what? Tomorrow, on Wednesday, this game between Arsenal and Manchester City is really a game that is really so much determinant on who is going to be the Premier League winner of 2022-2023. This has gone ahead to call out or to bring out lots of players, lots of ex-players that were playing for Arsenal and were really among the invisibles, meaning that they know what winning a trophy is all about, and they've gone ahead to really give their view on what they expect on Wednesday. That's it. And the entire title race. Their former rivals by then, that was Manchester United of Arsenal, have also come out and really said lots of things as far as this game of football is concerned between Arsenal and Man City, and a damage has been anticipated to one of the sides that is going to take part into this very huge game that's going to be played at Emirates. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. Rokani David is my name. Smash the like button, comment and share. And if you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And guys, smash the like button, comment and share. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, because the more you subscribe, the more we grow deep in numbers, and we want to hit 12,000 subscribers. And guys, continue subscribing, because what you do is what keeps us going and going and going. Now, today has been really a very beautiful day, and I think you guys are enjoying your day. The first person to come out and really hint about the damage has been Gary Neville, Sky Sports pundit, ex-United player that played so much with Arsenal, and there are certain games or certain seasons that he played and Arsenal won the trophy, and some seasons that Gary Neville lifted the trophy by going ahead to beat Arsenal. Gary Neville in his own words has said, Arsenal have been the best team so far, but they can be damaged on Wednesday. They can be very damaged, and so can Man City. And Arsenal should remember that. People will think City are hunting Arsenal down, but Arsenal can damage City too, because if they... So that is Gary Neville for you. So he's really taking this match as a double-edged sword, because a double-edged sword, any of its insides can cause damage to any of the teams involved. And he's hinting about Man City being damaged by Arsenal, and he said Arsenal have been the best team so far in the league. Obviously, no doubts, Arsenal have been the best team in the Premier League, but they can be damaged on Wednesday. That's it. Any of these teams can damage the other. And I think Gary Neville has been objective this time round, because however much has been so much sounding on how Arsenal is not going to win the league, but this time round has gone ahead to really come out with a very objective opinion about this side, that any of the sides can damage the other. That's why I've come with the title, Arsenal Man City Damage Anticipated. Any of those teams can damage the other, but if you weigh in, who can damage the other? It's really hard to predict, but as things stand, it looks like Arsenal is a wounded lion. In the previous 3 games, they've not gone ahead to win any of those. They've gone ahead to be beaten twice, and they've drawn 1 game against Brentford. That was on Saturday. That's how it really came in through for a club known as Arsenal. But look at City. They are wounded. Last weekend, as they played Tottenham Hotspur, they returned at the Etihad and beat Aston Villa by 3-1, meaning that they are fired up to go in at the Emirates. But if you are to reflect on how Arsenal has been playing alongside the top 6 teams or the big 6 teams, none of those teams has gone ahead at the stadium and really survived. And we look at City, I believe last time they played at the Emirates, City just survived and they won the game late after giving Gabriel Magalhaes a red card after holding Gabriel Jesus' shirt, and he got a second bookable offence, and he was sent off the field of play. Arsenal played close to 20 minutes when the man down defended very well, but in the last minutes, dying minutes, I think they had added 3 minutes. Rodri scored a goal that came in from the corner, and City ended the day while they are the champions. But Arsenal gave them a game. It was an end-to-end game, and Arsenal created very many chances, 2 penalties that were not given to them, and that's why they really hit VAR into this occasion. But also, City is not an easy nut to crack. That's why Gary Neville is talking about a damage can be done on both sides. So it's going to be a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged explanation by Gary Neville, and obviously he's right, and I think any side can damage the other, but I believe it's so much clinging to Arsenal because Arsenal, having not won a Premier League game ever since they won against Manchester United, I believe they're having a drive to take them to the next level, to go on and really win this game of football. After that, another United legend that played in this fixture a lot, or that played against Arsenal and Man City a lot and won very many Premier League titles, has come out and really hinted about that game of Arsenal versus Man City. He said, I have to respect what Arteta and his team have done this season, but this is the moment that we have all been waiting for. It's inevitable does happen. It happens to City, Liverpool, my teams in which I played. So he's talking about the dipping in form, that Arsenal is deep in form because it's the order of the day. No team has ever gone ahead to be on fire from the word go until the season comes to an end. That team has never been there. Some teams start off badly and cope up later. Others start off well and go or experience a little dip in form. Then they raise back. I think those 2 games that Arsenal have really gone ahead to lose how many points? 5 points. I think they're enough, and they can act as a wake-up call for them to see to it that they really find themselves into that. And that's what Rio Ferdinand is talking about, that there is always dip in form, and Arsenal might bounce back on Wednesday against City. And I believe if at all you are Pep Guardiola, this would have been the worst thing to really think about, because if Arsenal bounces back, then it's going to be a different case altogether, because they might bounce back in a very, very, very dangerous way that could haunt City. Then Ferdinand concluded by saying, there comes a point in a season where it does not go to plan. The bumps in the road, we said they are going to happen. It's how you react. That's the bit I want to see. Now, obviously, he's talking from an expert point of view, very right, and he has hit the nail onto its top, because everyone would like to see how Arsenal are going to react when they are playing City, having lost 5 points in the previous 2 Premier League games. What are they going to do next? That's the most important thing that everyone is really hinting about and really waiting to see on Wednesday. How are these boys of Arsenal going to go ahead and react? Have they really gotten that third, fourth gear to it that they gate off from the second gear they've been playing in, and obviously elevate to the next level where I expect them to be playing very well and really beating City? That's what we really want to see. But City has also been a struggling side that you can't go on and really reckon with, because they don't look like a side that is going to come on and really kill off the game every time they are playing against big teams. And I believe Arsenal really has a far much better chance of really winning this game of football, to it that they really go 6 points clear. But those bumps are always expected, and I think these 2 ex-United legends are really giving us a very analytical view and objective view as far as this game is concerned, because Arsenal looks like the previous 2 games, they've not won any. Man City, the previous 2, they've won 1 and lost 1. So it shows you that the wavelength of these teams is almost the same. Though, if Arsenal players that were wrapped on the day, I believe they might give City a game that they will never even think about. So after that, let's talk a little bit about the Arsenal legend and what he had to say about the Arsenal versus Man City game, because it is really happening tomorrow. That is Wednesday. Now, who is this Arsenal legend? He's known as Kolo Toure. He was part of the Invisibles that really won the Premier League unbeaten in 2003, 2004. And to be more specific, he was one of the last Arsenal players to win the league for Arsenal. That's it. He was one of the last players to win the league for Arsenal, and that is a player known as Kolo Toure. Right now, he's jobless after being a manager at Wigan. 9 games, he couldn't win any of those, and he was sacked. I think he's going to go ahead and return back to Leicester City, where he was part of the coaching team of Leicester City. That is it. So Kolo Toure has really gone ahead and really talked about how Arsenal and Man City, he was once at City, also he was coached by Pep Guardiola. He knows how everything is really done. Now he says, with City, we always knew the talent of the players, and Pep will be very important in the second half of the season. There are still a lot of games to go, but I think these 2 games are the best right now. It will be close come the end of the season. So for him, he's anticipating the title race between Arsenal and Man City to be close. And he's right, because Arsenal were given 2 different opportunities to extend that lead to 8 points. And they really went ahead not to do the needful of really taking up the chance. They never picked up the chance, because how could that happen? Arsenal had to beat Everton. If at all they had beaten Everton, they knew that Manchester City was going to one of their hardest grounds, that is the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Arsenal lost and Man City lost. If Arsenal had won that game of football, they would have been 8 points clear. Then, towards the weekend, Arsenal played fast. You get? Instead of really winning that game of football and stretch that lead to 8, such that Man City come in with a lot of pressure when they're playing Aston Villa, Arsenal went ahead to draw, and obviously they were just 6 points ahead of Man City. Man City, after winning, they are now 3 points behind Arsenal. Though Arsenal have a game in hand, but you can't cross a bridge that you've not yet. You cannot cross a bridge before you really reach it. You have to first reach it and then cross it. So, talking of Arsenal is going to win that game in hand they're having, because they're going to play against Everton, that is like crossing a bridge that you've not reached. So I believe it's always better not to cross a bridge you've reached and count those points that have really gone ahead to be collected by Arsenal. So that is the former Invisible calling for the game between the title race between Arsenal and Man City to be close. But I believe he's really right, because right now it's 3 points separating the two. And even if Arsenal goes ahead to beat Man City over on Wednesday, that will be 6 points separating the two teams, meaning that Arsenal will be also on pressure, because when they lose one game or draw, City closes in, meaning that Arsenal has to find back its form to stretch to very unending wins until the end of the season. And I believe the trophy is really going to be so much important, especially when we reach March, April, and May. Those are the most important months that Arsenal need to find themselves really back to the winning ways. But for Arsenal, it's really good for them, because they would have welcomed back a player called Gabriel Jesus, who is really going to go ahead and redo the needful. You might find even Arsenal losing these games of Man City, and obviously winning other games, and City will find themselves losing other games, because City has to play against Liverpool. You get? They have to play against Newcastle. They have to play against Chelsea, I think, and very many others. So as things stands, it looks like Arsenal are really having an edge, but that edge should be backed by them getting back to their endless winning form. Then he concluded Kolo Toure by saying Arsenal have a lot of young players, and that can help them in the title race as well, because sometimes when you have young players, they are fearless and the pressure does not get to them. Really? I think pressure gets more to young players than old players. Old players really have the experience that can really maintain that pressure. That's why you see to it that Man City has better game handlers than Arsenal. Though the midfield of Arsenal looks like it's having experience, Thomas Partey, Xhaka, but when did they last win? That's it. Man City are the defending champions of the Premier League last season, so they know what it means to go on and really win the Premier League. You have to go ahead and really win very, very, very many games that are really important to kill off these games in. So I don't agree with him talking about that Arsenal having young players in the title race, it will help them. I believe if at all you are having experienced players like Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko, Thomas Partey, Xhaka, they help you out. But the likes of Saka, Martinelli, Saliba, those ones, they are still young. They are still young. That's why you saw to it that Mikel Arteta brought in Jorginho. Now, if that is right, that young players are really going to help Arsenal win the trophy, then why did he go for Jorginho? He'd have gone in for another defensive midfielder that was really young. But he knows the truth that we need experience in that dressing room to really pave way to these players who are really young, to really let them know that we can do this. Even Mikel Arteta revealed it when he signed Trossard and Jorginho, that you need to blend. You need to blend young talent and old. That's what really helps you build a better team that is really unbeatable and unstoppable. So guys, that's what we had for you today. Tell me what you think about Arsenal Man City damage anticipated. What are your thoughts about it? Who do you think is going to damage one or the other? And what do you think about Kolo Toure and Rio Ferdinand's talk or quotes about this game of Manchester United, of Arsenal hosting Man City at the Emirates Stadium, a very highly anticipated game, as whoever wins just goes ahead to put himself direct into the title race. Rokani David is my name. May the Almighty God bless you abundantly. I sign out for now. See you later. I'm out, my mates.